And she go to the gym and start out.
I did.
No, you could be in rock right there and bumping. That's about PT is thrilled. One part of your body is our numbers and
Excellent.
wonderful. Good feel.
We're in it, we're in it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, there's like, I tried, muscle, like a reason where.
When, it's the January 1st, 4 a.m.
December 31st.
Or December 1st. Are you gonna send on the dates for this?
Yeah, we see it. And then for ledge, and that's what we did. And I clean them with smooth counts. She's just really exhausted or like. Nothing. No aches, no pains. His dad doing stuff. Oh, I wish that I don't have. I'll be on that.
Look okay.
Well, it's, protocol, a lot of people do that.
So I know.
I took the.
I'm sure
Gotta
that
do a
all-
work speed.
Right.
And
That's harder.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Good for you.
Mr. President, we do have a quorum.
We do.
We do.
Oh. I forgot that I was the president. That happened.
You got railroaded last year.
Oh, all right,
Sucker.
fine. I'll call the meeting of the CDYCI to order. First item of business is the welcome, the roll call and introduction of guests. So, welcome. Who calls the roll?
I can call the roll. We have Bill Connors here. Kristen Swinton is participating remotely. Jasmine Higgins is here in person. From Rensselaer County, Laura Bauer is here, as is Mike Stammel. Saratoga County is represented by Susan Costanzo and Craig Warner, and yourself, Gary Hughes, and Gila Moses representing Schenectady County. Other guests include Moira Manning and Stephanie Thomas from Albany County, and we also have Bob Ryan, our counsel, on the screen.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the October 15th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion in a second?
I make that motion.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of minutes of the October 15th meetings, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item is the financial statement through November 30th. That is your memo 2522, and I'd like a motion in a second for that.
Make that motion. Second.
Discussion. Who's doing the presentation?
I'll do the presentation. So we paid Together for Youth for quarter one and quarter two. Quarter three bills were issued. How are we doing on
There's partial
receivables?
payment to them already for 2 counties, and Albany and Schenectady are in process of
Okay.
being paid. We have not received money.
So as a reminder, to make sure we're paying Together for Youth as quickly as possible, it's a money in, money out situation. We used to wait until we had the total amount that was owed to Together for Youth, but now as we receive money, we direct wire it to them to speed things up. So SD through the November 30th expenses just under $7 million. Specialized secure expenses just over $10 million. Or 74.7% of budget. On the balance sheet, we have $177,000 in our accounts through November 30th. We'll be using some of those funds to front the money for the screen replacement, which we'll talk about later, and also the replacement of the boilers in the basement.
Pardon me. Any other questions or comments on the financials?
One other thing I might want to mention, depending on the timing of receiving the bills for the work at the facility, I may ask the board to open up a line of credit with Pioneer Commercial Bank, just so that we can pay the vendors while we wait to be reimbursed by the counties. But I will know that before our January meeting.
So you're not making that ask today, you're gonna make that ask later.
Right.
So that Anything else? All in favor of accepting the financials, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are accepted. Next item is your memo 2523, and that is the 2026 budget.
So last year, the
Can I first make a
2024,
motion in a second?
oh, sorry, sure.
Make it.
All right, the 2024 budget was the one that really changed things, increased by almost 60%. This year's year-over-year change is a modest 3%. You can see total budget for secure and specialized secure in 2026 as proposed Together for Youth is $22.3 million, which is again 3% over the total for 2025. You can't really see the difference, but this bar chart, if it was in color, would show you that while the costs of secure detention have dramatically increased over the last 10 years, the share that the counties pay out of pocket, which is the lowest bar, if you can see the color differences. Yeah, that's about there. So we're operating a larger facility, need more staff, so it's going to cost more, but the county's out of pocket increase is not nearly anywhere near the total cost to run secure detention because the state is paying for specialized secure and raise the age youth that are in the secure detention facility.
Not that we need it this morning, but it would be really useful to have that shown as a percentage to
Mhm.
county
Yep.
for us to take back and say, see. Any other discussion?
Any questions for Luke about their budget?
Not all in favor, thinking about everything on. Aye. Opposed? Budget is approved. Yeah. There's one other item required to vote, so maybe we'll skip there, the 2026 operator agreement.
Sure. Actually, the meeting schedule, we
Oh,
do
you want
vote
that?
on.
Go
Yeah,
ahead. I don't mean to mess it.
that's okay. These meeting schedule, it's the third.
Motion and second on the meeting schedule.
Motion.
Second. We just voted on something we didn't need to vote on.
That's okay.
Okay, all in favor of the meeting schedule? Aye. Okay. Now we go.
Yeah, the operator agreement.
Motion and second, please.
Make that motion. Second.
So this is the fourth amendment of the contract that we executed with Together for Youth. I anticipate next year's contract will be a multi-year contract, and this will be the last annual renewal for the contract. Only slight amendments were made, just the term. And it also notes that this year's adopted budget will be affixed as an attachment to the agreement amendment.
I don't see a memo.
25.
Yeah, we passed over the non-action item. So we're on 25.
Okay.
Actually did the non-action. item.
Right, that I have. I didn't see 25. Yes.
Oh,
Oh, on my list.
Yeah. Where-
I see.
So 25 is for the revised county omnibus agreement. That's the agreement between the counties and CDRPC and CDYCI. No action there. Just a reminder that's been distributed to the counties. Schenectady County gets the gold star because they actually approved the omnibus resolution, the first county to do
delivered.
so, hand delivered.
With a
But
seal.
yeah, all the other county attorneys have been notified and they're processing it through their various channels. Again, just the omnibus agreement makes a couple changes. Most notably, it role maps CDRPC into the agreement as providing administrative services on behalf of CDYCI. And it also establishes a process by which the counties need to certify their rosters so that we can issue the bills on a more timely basis. So that's just the update. So hopefully in January, we'll have the new agreement in place. And then I already just talked about, and Gary called for a motion and a second on the Fourth Amendment, of the operator agreement.
I don't think we took a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Greater agreement. Does that move us to 25-27? I think.
Yes.
Renovation, warranty, retail. That's not right.
All right, so there have been a number of issues identified in the building that have created some challenges. I'm just gonna open up the packet. So I can show you some of the pictures. So as I've previously mentioned, Luke and I and facility staff, as soon as we saw what the screens looked like in the bedrooms. So the bedrooms have windows, but on top of the windows, there are screens to serve as a preventative measure in case the kids want to damage the window. So it's a needed feature. However, the screens that were spec'd were not sufficient. And a number of bedrooms are offline because units have damaged the screens. And the screen edges are sharp and whatever. So that has reduced our available bed space to, I think, 32 or 33, Ray?
32.
32. So we had started the procurement process back in May to replace the screens with the existing screen types that were in the existing facility, which are much more robust. And we unfortunately, the lead time for the manufacturing of those screens was very lengthy. While we had hoped they were to be delivered this week and the work was going to schedule to begin this week, the delivery has been delayed. So hopefully they will be delivered before the end of the year for work to commence early in 2026. It's another action item on the agenda, or not an update item, but we have requested a waiver to be able to operate a number of bedrooms without the security screens, subject to additional supervision of youth that are in those rooms, and limited to youth that are of the JD and JO levels who are behaving. So the lowest risk youth. But we have pursued warranty repair claims against the general contractor Bunk Off. They were in charge of a number of things, including the paint. So this is new paint that was completed in the beginning of last year, and it looks like it's been there for 30 years.
Oh,
And you, of course, you see it bubbling off, and this is every door that was painted in the facility. So they have agreed to address the concerns for this. There is also issues with the CMU block wall in dorm A, which is the dorm that was renovated to add 4 additional bedrooms. So you can see it's a significant, making this room inoperable. There are some damage to the sills and the windows as well. And this is more paint damage in the bathroom, in the shower area. And of course, if you're painting a shower, it's got to be able to tolerate being wet.
Right.
So originally Bunk Off said, oh, well, it's peeling off because it's wet. And I'm like, well, it's in a shower. So we had our, the architects provide the spec, and it's pretty clear that the subcontractor, who was the painter, did not follow the specifications for the installation of paint in the showers and elsewhere in the facility. So they've agreed to take care of that. The block wall, however, they're contesting that it's because of these flimsy screens that the issues surrounding the block wall are happening, which is pretty dubious, but because I want to prioritize getting these bedrooms back online. I've asked our window, the screen contractor, whether they can repair this stuff while they do the work to install those screens. The screen, I believe the quote was about $33,000 to replace the screens for the bedrooms.
all of them?
No, the screens in dorm A and the screens, were there any screens in dorm D that were replaced, or just dorm A? Oh, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Dorm D bedrooms and the 4 new bedrooms in dorm A that have
All
the new
these
screens.
reasons, because they use these.
Yeah,
We asked for these in May.
I started the process in May, working with Architectural Glass and Metal. in Albany, who was the contractor that originally installed the screens. But it's just been brutal getting them to respond and getting the order squared away. I mean, the order was made, I think, in August. And it's taken until December to have the manufacturer ship the materials. So like I said, we're trying to get some of these rooms back online by just simply removing the screens on a temporary basis while we wait for the new screens to be delivered and installed. And that'll hopefully bring back on 3 or 4.
At least two,
2.
potentially 3, but we have to add additional staff, which is always, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew, and then we don't have enough staff and we can't use those rooms. So, but we're thinking 2 definitely that we'll be able to bring online, and potentially 3, but 2.
And it's gonna cost $33,000 for those. How many screens?
It's gonna be 12, 16 screens. Yeah,
It takes almost a whole day to install.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that's
They don't look
That's
special,
green
but they
plus
are
installation.
special. They're not.
what's that?
That's your standard.
plus
screen.
installation.
Yes,
No, they're a wire mesh.
Yeah.
And so,
We have no metal fabricating companies close by that can do any different things.
so what I did, not being an architect, and given that our architect spec'd an inferior product, I just took a look at the screens that were in the building, read the name, Googled it, and reached out to them. Because the facility has not had any problem with those.
no, the screens in the Age are great. The ones that we had, but it's all 1997.
And that shows that there's something wrong with the other one.
Yeah, open shipper, the whole,
Well, I mean, the issue with these is that you can, press your hand and the screen deflects, and you can do that over and over again, and then you can pop the screen out, and it just was not unfortunate that everyone approved those screens. So we're working on it. Like I said, Bunk Off will send a contractor out. They've been on site to inspect this work. And they're working with the facility team at Together for Youth to schedule the work to repair the painting. I don't know how extensive it's going to be. I have no idea whether they're gonna have to remove the paint, or repaint it from scratch. These were pre-primed doors. So to see this condition is unfortunate and disappointing. Sure.
Know the answer to this. You had like a construction manager on this project.
Mhm. Yeah, we have a construction manager, we had
He was smiling.
2 weekly meetings.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, well, this was not the biggest mistake that we encountered with the construction project. That was the anti-climb fence that was in fact not anti-climb. That was installed and then had to be removed, and then razor wire had to be put in temporarily, and then that had to be removed, and the actual anti-climb fence had to be put back in. So that was $120,000. So for the screens, the process will be, I will include the expense for the screens in basically the per diem rate. And then that'll just be billed to every user for the cabins. So we'll keep you updated on the process with the paint, and again, the process with installing the screens. Hopefully, knock on fake wood, that they'll be installed by the next time we move.
So as far as the painting is concerned, is that covered under their warranty
Yes,
in full?
yep. So their warranty expires, I think that we got the letter of substantial completion in April of 2025. So they're watching that date very closely to make sure that they're not on the hook. So we're trying to identify anything we possibly can before that date
Yeah,
and try to
yeah.
enforce the warranty. Any other questions?
No. Buyer beware.
Buyer beware. Item number 9 is boiler and screen replacement update.
Sure, I just mentioned this, we have,
Wait, no,
no,
didn't we just do screens?
I did mention them within the context of the repairs that we're doing.
Repair.
So I don't need to talk about the screens again, but we have one of the 2 boilers that we are replacing that's been installed. We're still waiting for some parts for the second boiler. before that could be completed and finally installed.
We have heat.
Good to have heat, and it would be really lots of egg on the face if you just spent $20 million renovating the facility and then had no heat in the building.
Is there a lead time on the parts you're waiting for?
It seems they're just waiting for a butterfly valve or
So,
something.
so the boilers are all good, but the parts that were past the boiler were old as well, and so they have to replace, they identified they better replace them now, or they fail as well.
So
So
my next question, how far beyond the boiler do we have to replace those?
it's not that far. It's not that far, but they have to get those parts. I think their goal is to get it going next week to get to the second boiler. They already poured the concrete pad and got everything ready for it, so they're just gonna get these valve parts and pop them in, and they will put the boiler.
Sounds good.
Any warranty on the new boiler?
Yes, there'll be standard warranty on the boiler. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. The typical warranty for the hardware, or like the chiller, was 5 years.
I think so.
Yeah, 5 years on the new chiller, so we have the same HVAC company. Yeah.
Well,
The
last
last
one-
5 years.
The last one.
That's
Like the last one,
So-
the last one's went
Such garbage.
25, almost 30 years.
Yeah,
Um,
they were making.
but they were
30 years ago.
removed from the renovation project in an exercise called value engineering early in the project, which was unfortunate, which means some folks went down the basement and said, oh, these look good. So it's unfortunate they weren't replaced when we were replacing all the other physical plant stuff.
Item number 10 is a offer from Child and Family Services waiver, so we can use the appendix.
Yeah, Luke mentioned it when we were talking about the screens. We're looking to operationalize D116, D121, and D125. By removing the damaged screens, and adding some supervision to youth who would stay in those rooms.
We just have a staff on constant watch, standing in front of the door when, like, if it's in there.
So you did receive approval yesterday.
We received approval yesterday to operate Graves. We are putting in place staffing to make sure that we can do that. So that will be, they'll take some staff offline. So they're watching.
11 is OCFS site visit letter of
Sure, this is an ongoing process of back and forth between OCFS and Together for Youth. So there's two things that this memo discusses. There's the monthly site visit and related reports and findings, and is the minimum standards evaluation ongoing or is that annual?
That's been an ongoing thing. It's the first time we're working through the whole set of them, and it will be annual. That
Okay,
they think that they have never done it.
okay, so there's really no end date for the minimum standards evaluation to be completed?
What we are doing in April, so 2 years ago, we started with the minimum standard evaluation on our medical unit. They are coming back to review that in April this year, so we're kind of starting over.
It basically means they observe how your procedures and processes operate in the facility.
Yes.
Okay. And determine whether you're following the written policies and procedures and whether those policies and procedures comport with the regulations.
Yeah, and most of the items you notice in there from State Commission on Corrections are about some policy things they want to see added to be sure that we're doing, which we have our full response prepared. There are two items that we are more difficult for our facility that we're working with COC on technical assistance to figure out that bed visits. I would hope that bed visits, being that we serve in many counties across the state, how to do that. We submitted a plan that we thought was appropriate. COC said that it was not acceptable, so we're going to need to work with them. And the other is unlawful movement throughout the facility. Whereas we move a logbook in a facility in an adult setting, they keep a logbook in each room, which makes sense because they staff a room with a staff who stays in that room the entire time and logs our staff with our kids. So having a logbook in each room makes it a little more difficult, but we have come up with a solution that we're going to present to them, which I think will be sufficient, but all our responses are prepared. They'll be going out to them.
So the deathbed visit, the challenge is that the sheriff is not responsible to transport the youth for those types of activities.
So our proposal was that we would go to the home county have the judge approve it, and then that county sheriff department would have to handle the transport. They want, they said that was not acceptable, and so we want to find out what more let us to do.
So are they asking you to transport the youth,
Um,
or you don't know?
I do not know. That was our presentation, that the sheriff would come and be responsible because it is their duty to bring them and then bring them back. And they said that was not acceptable. So we're going to meet with them and try to work to figure out what they are looking for.
Okay.
Did they say why it was not acceptable?
They did not. They just said it was not acceptable, but they said they're willing to sit down with technical assistants to assist us. So we will be working closely with them to figure out how we can make that successful.
And if it were to become successful,
Yeah,
then
way to do it. I agree.
call the county sheriff or on the sheriff of the county where they.
Our proposal that it would be the county where the youth originated from, whatever court they came from. Not the youth.
Yeah, yes. It all straight.
Makes sense to us.
But we're prepared to, we will make sure that we're meeting their guidelines. We just need to figure out what they're doing.
Are these inspectors and observers, are they usually the same people all the time?
They are, and we have a good partnership with them and we work very closely. Very great relationship. They've man from.
Really don't have much choice.
No, but we do, they are a bit open to hearing.
How are they open to?
It's different than at all facilities.
Just on that. Just seems like it's never ending.
It's okay, it keeps, we have nothing to hide, and we do like to get advice, on how we can do that. So, we work very closely with those advice, they have ideas, and they've helped us be kind of clever. Sometimes we don't always agree, but it's just the thing.
Job security.
Under facility maintenance issues, it says something about a black substance. Any indication if that's mold?
We did not have any mold, Ray, did you know that? We immediately, Ray works closely, so some of the things that are identified are immediately taken from the site.
No, they haven't been, during the last walkthrough, they walked through with our maintenance department, so, nothing in terms of mold has been identified. Usually if it's something like with the dryer or something, too close to the wall, which is spraying the wall, that we have like dark substance on the wall, that is usually taken care of right away. So, but if it was definitely mold, they would have brought that to my attention.
Thank you.
The education program.
Sure. So our current update, we have a math and social studies teacher, which are currently working in the facility teaching youth. We also have a GED teacher in the facility, which has 2 youth on track to take their GED. So we're working hard on that. We also have a vocational specialist who is working with the youth. She comes with a lot of experience. She worked at Brookwood previously, providing vocational training to youth. So she's working now with our kids. It's going well. We also have virtual headsets provided by OCFS to teach our youth some vocational skills, which Ray's team is using in there. For the subjects that we don't have teachers for, we are using the approved Edgenuity software, which we have been using. That's used by BOCES and other New York State school districts to provide support for kids in school districts. We have been working closely with Capital District New Beginnings. They provide a lot of special education services on a per diem basis and an as needed basis, which is something we need in the facility because we don't have the capability to hire a speech pathologist, an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, all these items. So they're going to be presenting us a proposal, hopefully this week, to move forward with contracting with them for some special education services. Tim Backus, as many of you know, was our superintendent in South Colony. We are contracting with him as a consultant, and he is assisting us with working to get these things in place. He's also worked closely with us with South County School District as credit recovery transcripts and diplomas are all set through them right now in Regents exams. And they will be putting out the first report and report card coming out now in the next couple of weeks for our kids working with South County. So we're very excited to have that going.
Was the engagement of the company to provide special education services an outcome of the letter that we got from state ed?
We know that we need to provide very much.
So you're just getting ahead of it?
So we're trying to make sure that we can provide all of those services. And our last step will be working with South County on community special education facility, and then we'll be.
Okay. But we have not heard any formal corrective action.
I have not gotten anything.
Right?
You have received.
No. So we had the Albany City School District filed a complaint with the State Education Department. I think that I definitely previously mentioned this. Claiming that the facility was not providing adequate special education services. And to provide really adequate special education services, like as if the facility was a school district, you need the speech pathologist, you need all the other specializations, which just simply economically doesn't make sense for them to engage portfolio of 5 additional teachers to provide these services. So after that phone call with state ed and OCFS, because this was back in spring or over the summer.
Yeah, over the summer.
They said that they would get back to us about what they would actually require the facility to provide, and then they also require the facility to provide compensatory services to the youth. So that means services that he should have received would be applied retroactively for the youth in his home district. Logistically, we haven't heard anything about that requirement, and logistically, it's really nonsensical.
Yeah.
But again, it's state ed trying to apply the same standards that they would apply to a school district to a detention facility. And OCFS said that they were going to work more closely with state ed to develop a better policy that would work within the context of secure detention.
But if we're able to move forward with these items, we will be in full compliance the way we need to be in certain order.
No. Look, I think I didn't talk about it before. We can review the teachers or your staff,
Yes.
but how they accomplish the GED. It's through a relationship with BOCES still, or?
BOCES is giving us technical assistance, but we're going to be doing all the application, like we bought all of the assessment. The assessment tests that are required, and we took care of that. We purchased.
So all your teachers are actually like BOCES teachers, but they're yours and
they are only ours. They have nothing to do with BOCES.
But
BOCES is just providing technical assistance on the GED to get us set up and stand us up as a testing site.
okay.
But once that's done, then we will be handling fully.
Right.
So we are not stood up as a testing site yet. That's a little more complicated, but we're getting that ready. So hopefully by the time these 2 youth are ready to get, we'll be able to send to them testing. Questions on education?
Out of the 34 units that you have, or some students, how many students are involved in the GED program right now that I was in line to get the GED?
Just currently, but what we are going to do is the assessment that's used for GED, we're going to give to every kid that comes in the facility, because it'll give us an educational level for them, and then if they want to do that, they'll apply to there.
But that doesn't mean it will be there forever. You're gonna.
Yep.
That's a program. Thank you.
I think it is on somewhere. See, facility use.
So, not necessarily at first, but in the month of October and November, there are only 29 bed days used by counties that were not part of the consortium counties. At the moment, I believe there's only maybe one out of county used in there, or there's no out of county.
There's not.
There's no out of county youth in the facility. Albany County using the lion's share of beds. I believe the last I checked, Albany County is using 24 of the available beds. And I know there's need out there, particularly from Saratoga County, but other counties have a need for beds. So we're doing, like we mentioned, securing waivers to open up more beds, so that we can accommodate the youth, before we have the screens replaced.
So these numbers would reflect the fact that we have room for them.
Yes, these numbers reflect the capacity of about 33. And the facility has been full pretty much since we turned on the new beds.
That was the impression. Operation agency report.
Anything else, Ray?
Our program, like we mentioned about education, running really well. We had perfect attendance for the month of November and December, which is big, and secured facility to get all the kids to come to school. So that's been perfect, for November and December. We've had a decrease in physical restraints, especially on the weekends. And I contribute that a lot to our staff. We do a lot of stuff with holiday planning. We had a Thanksgiving dinner for the staff and the kids. We have a upcoming Christmas dinner for the staff and the kids, Secret Santa, things like that. So I think that's contributes to the decrease in physical restraints. So the program is running really well, and we've also increased come January, December. We have our visits on Sunday, but we're going to increase our visits on Wednesday as another option for the parents and that cannot attend our facility. So I think that's definitely going to help out. Yeah, but program it's been really going well. I think the spirits of the staff have really uplifted the residents there as well. So that's what we had a decrease in our strengths. So program's going really well.
Are all the residents, that they have someone that comes to visit them, parents? Is there anybody that doesn't have some?
Majority of them do. We'll probably have about like 5 or 6 that just don't. Either the parents canceled the last time or they're hard to get a hold of. So this is why this second visit on that Wednesday would be helpful. Give them another option. Try to give them a call 3 to 4 times during the week just to kind of confirm. Yeah. But we make sure that they're active when they're not. We have movie time. We have the gym that's open the second part of the day, so they go out to the gym. As of before, back in the day, it used to be they're just sitting on the dorm. So yeah.
Is some of the reasons why parents don't attend? They give you reasons when they call in, or they
some of it's
transportation? Right?
yeah, some of it's transportation, some is the job, and then some of it's just no call, no show. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't provide no transportation for parents. No. It's a hard place to get out of. Yeah, a hard place to get to the most. Work with CDYCI.
We did provide them with the bus route because there's I can't think which one it is, but it does go right at the corner of secure detention that they can catch. So by that as well.
Thank you.
Because I don't know. Cost would be to do like a bus pass. CDTA is pretty big into.
I can look into engaging them on maybe perhaps even facility bus passes that you could pass out.
Definitely.
Yes, and they had that flex bus thing that they've been working on.
Maybe Albany City School District provides students with that bus pass. Perhaps they're willing to extend it to the youth in the facility.
And the school districts themselves, you know.
Yeah, we do it. We do it on the time of the community college. Work group. And it's not a lot.
No, it's
When you make it possible for somebody to reconnect with their kid.
I mean, obviously, there's parents out there that just don't care.
Oh, yeah, no.
But those parents that care just can't get there. That's.
I'm not Pollyanna, I'm not Peter Pan. Sometimes things that we don't think about as a problem.
That's exactly what it is. Why it's not popular. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other business?
Just one other item. I don't think we need to go into executive session for this because I'll keep it high level, but Together for Youth is named in a lawsuit, as is, I believe, Schenectady Department of Social Services. We have filed a tender, or Bob, Together for Youth, just reminding them that they are indemnifying us in these cases. So I'll keep you posted and, I'll propose an executive session if there are any material or substantial things to discuss related to that.
Next meeting is, January 23rd, 9 a.m.
Hey, motion we adjourn?
Do I have a motion in a second? All in favor? We're adjourned.
Business, everybody.
Yes.
Happy
Thank you.
No, did the-
Yeah, you were gonna.
It is nice, it makes you slow down.
How I identify.
Unless you're outside. Then you just all-
Yeah. There you go. Hearing agreement.
I have more. We try to do one for one.